Details now surrounding the investigation into Donald Trump and his mishandling of classified documents. The former president is accused of potentially disclosing secret information about America's nuclear submarines to a foreigner after he left office. The alleged conversation has now been reported to special counsel Jack Smith, who's leading that investigation. ABC's Jonathan Karl explains the latest.
The Australian billionaire Anthony Pratt has told special counsel Jack Smith's team that the former president told him potentially sensitive information about the capabilities of America's nuclear submarines. Sources familiar with the matter tell ABC News. Those sources say Pratt then shared the information with scores of others, including more than a dozen foreign officials, several of his own employees, and a handful of journalists, according to sources familiar with the matter. Pratt joined Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago Club shortly after Trump became president and was invited to multiple White House events.
Australian entrepreneur Anthony Pratt announced a new $2 billion investment in box-making factories across the United States. But he only did that if Trump won the election, I think. Is that a correct statement, Anthony? Thank you.
Sources familiar with the matter tell ABC News the alleged disclosure took place in April of 2021, just months after Trump left the White House. The sources say Pratt told federal investigators that Trump was leaning towards him as if to be discreet, and allegedly shared two critical pieces of information about U.S. submarines: the supposed exact number of nuclear warheads each usually carries, and exactly how close they can supposedly get to a Russian submarine without being detected.
Anthony is one of the most successful men in the world, perhaps Australia's most successful man, as they say.
It's unclear if the information Trump allegedly shared with Pratt was accurate, but the sources tell ABC News that the investigators asked Pratt not to repeat it, suggesting it was too sensitive to share. But in fact, the sources say that within minutes of his conversation with Trump ending, the Australian billionaire started telling another guest at Mar-a-Lago. The potential disclosure was uncovered as part of the investigation into Trump's alleged mishandling of classified documents at Mar-a-Lago, although there's no indication that Trump showed Pratt any actual documents.